Let me ask you something. What would your life look like if you stopped acting small, if you stopped doubting yourself, and instead carried yourself as if you were already the best? Not in arrogance, not in ego, but with the unshakable confidence that no one is above you. The Stoics had brutal truths that, if you live by them, will force you to walk like a giant in a world of hesitation. And today, I'm going to give you 5 of them. But before we dive in, if you're serious about building an unstoppable mindset, hit that subscribe button and stay with me until the end, because these truths will rewire the way you see yourself forever. Truth 1. No one is born above you. Think about this. The greatest kings, emperors, warriors, and philosophers all entered this world the same way you did, crying, fragile, and helpless. They had no crown, no fame, no wisdom at birth. Everything they became was built through choices, discipline, and mindset. The Stoics understood this truth deeply. No one is born superior, and no one carries an untouchable status. Marcus Aurelius, perhaps the most powerful man in the world during his reign, constantly reminded himself that he was just a man. Despite holding absolute authority, he stripped away the illusions of superiority. He wrote, "Alexander the Great and his mule driver both died, and the same thing happened to both." In other words, at the core, all humans share the same fate, mortality. When you let this truth sink in, self-doubt begins to dissolve. Why should you fear speaking up in a meeting? Why should you cower before a person with a higher title? They are made of the same flesh and bone as you. They fight fears, they make mistakes, they bleed, and eventually they die, just like you. The only real difference between those at the top and those who hesitate in the shadows is belief. Belief that they can stand tall. Belief that they can shape themselves into greatness. You don't need permission to act as if you're the best. You need to realize that no pedestal is real unless you choose to kneel before it. The Stoic mindset says, treat everyone with respect, yes, but never with inferiority. Respect does not mean submission. Respect means recognizing human equality while still believing in your own worth. So, walk into the room knowing this. No one was born above you. Their crowns are illusions. Their confidence is practiced. And the same source of strength lies dormant inside you, waiting for you to claim it. High-voltage truth 2. Your mind is your empire. Marcus Aurelius ruled over the Roman Empire, the most powerful force on earth at the time. Yet even he reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Why would the most powerful man in the world say that? Because he knew the truth. External power is fragile. Kingdoms fall, wealth vanishes, crowds turn against you. But mastery over your own mind, that is a throne no one can overthrow. The Stoics believed your mind is the real empire. Everything begins there. Your confidence, your actions, your resilience. Self-doubt creeps in only when you allow your thoughts to wander unchecked, feeding on fear and comparison. Control your mind, and you control your world. Think of it this way. Life throws storms at everyone. Some people collapse, others thrive. The difference isn't the storm, it's the inner dialogue. One says, I can't handle this. The other says, this is fuel for me to grow stronger. Same storm, different empire. When you act as if you are the best, it doesn't mean arrogance. It means training your mind daily to reject weakness, to silence unnecessary noise, and to focus on what matters. The Stoics practice this with journaling, self-reflection, and constant reminders of mortality and virtue. Your empire is not in other people's opinions, not in material possessions, not in external validation. Your empire is discipline, self-control, and clarity of thought. Build that fortress, and nothing outside of you can conquer it. So remember, you may not rule Rome, but you rule something far greater, your mind. Treat it as your empire, and no force, no critic, no obstacle can dethrone you. High Voltage Truth 3. Comparison is slavery. One of the greatest killers of confidence is comparison. You look at someone richer, smarter, more attractive, more successful, and immediately you feel small. This constant measuring destroys your inner strength. Seneca saw this clearly when he wrote, "He who envies others does not obtain peace of mind." The Stoics believed comparison is a form of slavery. When you live by measuring yourself against others, you hand them the keys to your happiness. Their success becomes your sadness. Their progress becomes your prison. You are no longer free. The antidote is to live by a different rule. Measure yourself only against who you were yesterday. The Stoics called this self-mastery. Progress that comes not from competition, but from discipline. Did you wake up earlier today? Did you face a fear you avoided yesterday? Did you speak with more courage, more patience, more clarity? That is success. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that fame, wealth, and status are all fleeting. The only true measure is whether you live with virtue, courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance. If you live by these, then no one is above you. Here's the truth. The people you compare yourself to are often comparing themselves to others too. It's a cycle of endless dissatisfaction. The Stoic breaks the chain by focusing inward, not outward. When you act as if you are the best, it's not because you think you're better than others. It's because you refuse to live as a slave to comparison. You're too focused on your own growth to care about someone else's scoreboard. The result? Inner freedom. And with freedom comes confidence. You stand tall, not because you're competing with others, but because you're competing with your weaker self and winning. Truth 4. Adversity is your forge. Most people run from struggle. They treat pain as an enemy, obstacles as curses, and discomfort as unfair punishment. But the Stoics saw adversity as the ultimate forge. Heat and pressure that shape raw metal into an unbreakable sword. Without the fire, the blade remains weak. Without hardship, the human spirit remains soft. Epictetus, born a slave and crippled by his master, never saw himself as a victim. He turned his suffering into strength, teaching his students that no one can harm your character without your consent. The Stoic law is simple. Hardship is your training ground. Think about your own life. The moments that shaped you weren't the easy days when everything went smoothly. They were the dark seasons, the rejections, the failures, the heartbreaks. That's where resilience was born. Marcus Aurelius himself, facing wars, betrayal, and illness, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When you act as if you are the best, it's not because life is easy. It's because you learn to transmute difficulty into growth. Where others crumble, you rise. Where others complain, you adapt. Where others quit, you endure. This doesn't mean you seek suffering for its own sake. It means when it arrives, you don't waste time asking, "Why me?" Instead, you ask, "How can this make me stronger?" Every setback becomes a step forward. Every wound becomes wisdom. Every struggle becomes your forge. Self-doubt dissolves when you realize adversity isn't there to stop you. It's there to shape you. And once you embrace that truth, you'll find fulfillment not in avoiding pain, but in transforming it into power. High Voltage Truth 5. Act, don't ask. The final Stoic truth is brutal but freeing. Stop waiting for permission. Stop asking, "Am I ready? Am I good enough? Will people accept me?" The Stoics knew that confidence is not given, it's built. And it's built only through action. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This is the heart of the law. Self-doubt grows in hesitation, in overthinking, in waiting for the perfect moment. But perfection never arrives. Action destroys doubt. Seneca taught that life is short, and delay is the enemy. How many people spend years planning, worrying, and seeking approval, only to die with their potential still locked inside? The Stoic refuses this trap. He acts. He steps forward even if he feels unready, because he knows readiness is forged through movement, not thought. Think of it this way. Confidence is not something you wait to feel before you act. It's something you earn after you act. Speak even when your voice shakes. Begin even when the path is unclear. Work even when you fear failing. Each step forward tells your mind, I am capable. When you act without asking, you reclaim your power. You stop letting the world decide your worth. You stop waiting for applause, for approval, for certainty. You move. And in moving, you become unstoppable. So the Stoic truth is clear. Don't ask. Don't wait. Don't beg for permission. Act as if you are already the best, and soon your actions will prove it true.